Alright guys, someone told me that they got to endgame with their warrior and they're struggling to farm what they need to get the items they want. They said hammers are pretty expensive, they don't have the DPS they need to clear maps. So I can show you a super cheap setup that you can use to just clear endgame maps and farm really juiced up maps with lots of damage mods with basically zero effort. And all it uses is this shield wall and your totem. So, the magic with the totem and the shield wall combined is the totem will act as the trigger. So you only need 2 buttons to clear the map. You just throw down your totem, and then you shield wall. And now you can just spam your shield wall over and over again, and delete the whole screen. So, I am using a 1 Exalted Orb shield, and a 1 Exalted Orb club. So you can go to the market and buy one of these for 1 Exalted Orbs. The only thing that matters is to get your 5 melee skills and a shield with lots of armor rating. So you can just go in, look for literally any shield, and just look for a big armor rating. And again, look, shield, 900 armor rating, 1 Exalted Orb. So you can buy a shield just like this, and you can do this with 1 Exalted Orb. And I will show you how it works. So we'll go to a map. And this is a map that's nice and juicy with all these mods, and it has all these extra mods on it. It's got temporal chains, which is the worst one in the history, but I guess we're just gonna have to go with it. And we will go into the savannah. Now I am only running this on a 4-link, so I'm just running this with On Citadel, Comms Madness, Life Leech, and Rage 3, and I'm not even going to put a last gem in there just to keep this as budget friendly as possible. So all we have to do is just do this. You can even see, even in this really juicy map with all these damage mods on it, we can easily clear the map with no effort. So even the juiciest map, and you just walk, there's 2 buttons. You just walk, you throw down your totem, you throw down your shield wall. So even in a really juiced up map like this, you can see that, no problem at all. So very simple, very straightforward. So nice juicy map, lots of damage mods. You're totally safe, enemies can't even get to you. So even with just this simple setup, using these 2 buttons to clear, you can easily clear the map. And that's literally all there is to it. It's so simple. See, this is a very juicy map. This is lots of damage modifiers, and as long as you put your totems out, the magic will happen with the totem combining with the shield. And again, don't forget, this is a 1 Exalted Orb club and a 1 Exalted Orb shield. So literally anyone can run this. And you can just shotgun the whole screen and delete the whole screen for literally dirt cheap. 1 Exalted Orb club, 1 Exalted Orb shield. So throw down your totem, start pitching your shield walls out. That's all you have to do. And I'm not using any other buttons, I'm just using the 2 buttons. So you have an idea of how this works. I'm just using the 2 buttons, I haven't used any other button. I'm not using any other skills, just the 2 buttons. So juiced up tier 16 map, Breach, Delirium, all that stuff on a 4-link. So literally anyone can set this up. You don't even need the Comms Madness because you could just simply use Upheaval. And I'm using Life Leech and Rage 3, and again, this is just on a 4-link. So that's literally it. You can easily clear juiced up maps. Now the other thing that's going to influence your damage with this is going to be your 3 to all melee skills on your amulet, if you can get it, and then obviously an anoint that gives you damage. I'm using Material Solidification. Flat damage on your rings will help as well. So flat damage on your rings, and flat damage on your gloves, and 2 to all melee skills on your gloves. So all you need is melee skills on your weapon, and as you can see, 1 Exalted Orb Club, because I'm not using my club to do damage. The only damage mod that's coming from this weapon is going to be this all melee skills, and the attack speed I'm pretty sure will apply to your shield skills as well. But this is a 1 Exalted Orb Club, 5 to all melee skills, because I'm not attacking with my club, I'm attacking with my shield. So the only thing that matters is the armor rating on the shield. So if I have a super high armor rating on my shield, I'm going to do even more damage. So if I had like a nice 1 Divine Orb shield, you know, maybe I just go in and get a shield with, you know, say 1500 armor. Check shields. So maybe that's a little too expensive. Let's just go 1200. I'm sure that they're probably, look at this, 1 Divine Orb, 1200. This is where all your damage is going to come from. And you can even use Shield Wall to kill bosses in this game. So you can pick up a shield that's got, you know, 1200 armor, and your Shield Wall is going to do a lot of damage. Now, to make this interaction work, and I haven't been running this interaction, so this isn't going to be on the max roll, but I'm just showing you guys how it works, so if you are running it. So if you're running the Shockwave Totem, all you need is Urgent Totems, Rapid Attacks, and Astral Projection. So you really don't need these other two. Overabundance is probably decent as well. You really don't even need Rapid Attacks, so you could even run this on a 3-link. So let's say you just had Urgent Totems, Astral Projection, and Overabundance. So let's just run that. And we'll just walk around the map and just put out our totem, and our totem is our trigger. So if I was running totems this patch, I would probably run this setup, because I think this is probably one of the strongest setups for running totems. And you could easily combine this with some other things if you were running a totem build. But even though my build isn't spec'd for totems, you can see that I can delete the entire screen even on 3 links. So you don't need anything special to pull this off. And you can see it just shotguns out because you're using your totem as the trigger. Because the totem is the trigger for the shield wall. So you can just spam, 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 spam. Now, the reason this works so well is we're using astral projection, because when the totem, it probably is hard to see in like a really delirious map like this, but if we find an enemy, maybe you can see that no matter where the totem goes, you can see that the little ground shot from the totem chases the enemy. So that's why you're using the astral projection. You throw down the totem, and the totem doesn't explode where the totem is. It explodes where the enemy is, which is perfect to combo with this setup. So you use the totem with the astral projection, and then your totem will attack where the enemy is, which will ignite the shield wall. Because then your totem isn't stuck to the one area, and you're able to actually use it as the trigger for your shield wall. So you can see what this looks like. And again, this is a super juiced up tier 16 map. Look at this. And I'm literally making 0 effort. I can clear this whole map with 2 exalts. And I mean, obviously I have some decent stuff too, but again, all you need is 2 to all melee skills, 3 to all melee skills, 5 to all melee skills or attack skills. Either one is going to work fine. And then big armor rating on your shield. That's all you need to make this work. And my shield's doing 28,000, plus it's doing the damage from shield pops, plus it's doing the 3 fissures with the shield wall. So, I mean, obviously this is going to work even better if you add in like a good hammer. You know, if you have like Giant's Blood, and now you have even, you know, 7 tall attack skills, just as an example, because you can get +7 on your maces when you have Giant's Blood, you're going to have even more damage. So again, you just go in and just shield wall. That's it. That's all you ever have to do. And you can clear a whole delirious map with 0 effort, and you'll never feel in danger. You can just walk around, and again, this is on 4 links, so easily delete every screen, no problem at all. And as long as you use this setup, you shouldn't have any issues. So this is how you set it up. Shield wall, on Citadel, Calms Madness, Life Leech, Rage 3. You only need these 4 links to even make this work. Now obviously you could add more links, like, you know, Rapid Attacks or whatever else, or Bloodletting, for example. Obviously Bloodletting would be good. You can see the huge damage boost I get from that with adding Bloodletting. It goes up to 43k. So now my damage is going to be like nutty with this setup. And again, I don't even have an optimal shield. Like, you got to imagine if I had like a good shield, if I actually spent like a couple divines on a good shield, I would be getting like 60,000, probably 70,000 damage with just using the shield wall setup. And you can see it just instantly deleted that rare, even with this 1x shield. So, and again, super delied up map, lots of damage modifiers, all that, no problem at all. So that is how the whole interaction works. So you can just use this with a cheap shield and some plus melee skills, and you will have huge damage, and you can clear any map, even like the most juicy, delirious maps, completely safely. And that's the only 2 buttons you need to clear. So anyone can do this. If you're playing hardcore, this would be very good. If I was playing hardcore as a warrior, this is probably the setup I would use, because you're not going to have to worry about dying. This is going to be the perfect setup for you. And the totem will just be that trigger. And it'll chase the enemy everywhere it goes, and then boom, you just drop it. So if you get to endgame and you're struggling with survivability, this is the setup you should use. This is going to be the best setup for you. And as long as you put down the totem, you can just shotgun. That is basically how the whole setup works. Now, the reason I was using this club, and it's important to note you can run this without using Giant's Blood. So you don't even need Giant's Blood for this setup. You could just use 1 club on your swap. And then if you're using my weapon swap tech, you could just kill bosses with 1 club on swap. So you could easily kill the bosses with just 1 club on your swap. And then just use your shield for clearing the map. So if you want to learn about that, you can go back and watch the video where I explained all this. And if you want to learn about this character, you can go back and watch all the videos. And sorry if my editing is not great. I'm not like a Twitch guy. I'm just a regular guy. So the reason I'm using this club, this cheap, crappy club, is because this is the best club you could use if you're not running Giant's Blood. And the reason it's the best club you can use is because of this mod right here, always hits. So this thing never misses. So your accuracy rating doesn't matter when you're running this. So this is a really, really strong mod. And I didn't come up with this. This is a guy named Penrose who is very, very smart. And he told me about this. So he is much smarter than I am and a much better warrior player than I am. So he told me about this. But he told me about this always hits mod on these clubs. So if you're running this on a non-Giant's Blood setup, I would ideally get an Akoyan club. Any club will work, but an Akoyan club is the best just because of this always hits mod. The always hits mod is very good. Another one that might be decent is the one that causes days buildup. That would probably be fine too. But again, these are 1 Exalted Orb clubs. You can go in and just go one-handed mace, and you can go all melee skills and just go 5, and boom, you're gonna have a million clubs you can choose from. And you know, see, 1 Exalted Orb, 2 Exalted Orbs. So this is very cheap to set up. Like, here's a decent one, has some crit chance even on it, 46 life per enemy killed, 2 Exalted Orbs. So you could run this with no Giant's Blood. This will work totally fine. And if you're running my setup for bossing with the Forge Hammer Maul combo, you can just use a 2-hander weapon on swap, and then just use your shield and small mace to clear maps. So this would even work totally fine if you're not running Giant's Blood. So again, very, very simple setup, very cheap, and you just need to get the melee skills, because that is how you're going to scale your damage, because you're scaling your damage off your skill gem level. And you see how it says 10 levels from global modifiers. And then obviously add your quality too, because if you add your quality, then you're going to get more damage when you destroy it. And this is very, very strong for clearing maps. So I would definitely use this if you're struggling, or if you're playing hardcore, or if you're playing in a group and you kind of want to just stay back. Just use this combo and you'll do just fine. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. So if this video helped you, make sure you like it so that it can show up in the algorithm to help other people. And if you haven't and you're curious about this warrior build, you can go back and watch my other videos. You can also hit subscribe, and it will give you notifications when I do updates on this warrior build. But yeah, this has been an ongoing project pretty much this whole season. And if I come up with anything new, or I'm testing anything new that I think is valuable, I will be making sure to share it here for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.